My letter to Wells Fargo. And I know Fargo and Mr. Wells, both a New York company, are turning over in their graves. You have lied to the American people, to my family and friends. Your current interest rate is now much higher than when I spoke to the operator on the phone years ago when I received my American Express Propel card. And I know that Wells Fargo and American Express started off when they started the whole company years ago. The credit card Propel was helpful, but it's not helpful to have to currently pay roughly 28% interest every month. It is in your best interest to lower that interest rate right now. Sorry, I'm doing a little bit of editing while I do this because this is going national. Years ago in the mid-2000s, I was tricked into participating in an interest rate scam from Wells Fargo called Direct Deposit Advance. You allowed me to borrow against my paycheck. At the time, I was paid $900 every 2 weeks or so. And you allowed me to borrow against it, and the domino effect began. This is unfair practice. The government stepped in and overruled your shady plan to take money from poor people. After the first bi-monthly period, every other week, you kept allowing me to borrow against the $900, the paycheck, and called it emergency lending. So every 2 weeks, that $900 vanished. It went to you, but you allowed me to borrow against it so it would be there again. But I had to pay back more. The interest rate was far too high, and there was a fee every month for 11 months. I never saw an entire paycheck for years. This went on for 4 years. I participated in the program 11 months straight. You only allowed me 11 straight months, and then you showed a bit of mercy in cutting it off and allowing us to breathe and for us to take a cooling off period. The cooling off period was for 30 days. Then the next month, you allowed us to go back into the debt for another year by borrowing against my paycheck of $900, which you would take, and then you would charge a fee. Then there'd be interest. I'd pay you back the $950, and I'd be in the hole, but you would give me the $900. Now, this interest rate was far too high, and you charged me a $25 penalty every time I borrowed against my own paycheck. And here's what I paid you, Wells Fargo. 2 weeks pay, I get $900. I pay you $950 or more dollars every 2 weeks. The $950 was more than I made, and I had to make up the lag and pay back the paycheck I borrowed against. You only advanced me the $900 each time. I had to pay back the interest on that plus a $25 fee. I suddenly owed you my paycheck, and you took that and more. What is mysterious to me is that none of the interest, none of it, none of the interest that I paid you, none of the thousands of dollars of interest I paid you, Wells Fargo, showed well on my credit score. It didn't show at all. It was as if I was paying interest to nothing. It did not show at all. It was as if I wasn't paying interest. But that's what you called it. You called it interest. Was I not paying interest? Is the color of my blood not red too? Gee, that doesn't make sense. I don't get a benefit for paying all that back. I should own you by now, buds. I paid you too much interest, my long ago friend. Now you are becoming the opposite. I not only paid you plus interest every month for 4 years, but a penalty fee in addition to this big short fantasy that you did not get away with and never will again. After all the fees with the emergency lending plan, it hurt bad, and all for a checking account. And I paid back the interest or more than $200 a month each year for 4 years. This went on for 11 months each year for 4 years. That is $2,000 in fees and interest each year. None of it reported to the credit bureau. This went on for 4 years. 4 years. That is $8,800 in fees and interest for using a checking account for your silly bank that mostly operates out of Sunshine State, California. California dreaming at your candy dispenser, and I'm ashamed of you. Now, stop overcharging. I am glad the government came in and stopped you. A national televised apology doesn't cut it. Now you're charging $76 in interest rate on your American Express Propel card through Wells Fargo a month to me for your money, for this money trap Propel card. Well, Propel this, message sent. Message sent. I paid you interest for 4 years straight on almost all paychecks in the mid-2000s. I should have the best credit in the nation. Why did you not report that to the credit bureau? I paid back every single one of those loans. Good day.